Hey friends, if you somehow stumbled upon this and don't know me, hi, I'm Jill, and I would just assume that pretty much everyone has found me because you know me, so hello. I have been off of social media for, like a while now, and so I started this YouTube channel to mainly show my guitar progress, or I mean not really just show, but like record my guitar progress, a lot for myself and just in case anyone's interested, either in like how I'm doing or just to see like how someone can progress at guitar. My intention right now is that I will post a first try of a cover and then practice it for a week and see how I progress and post the progression video. But I also have been needing some sort of a creative outlet because I'm not in a band anymore, or at least right now. And I'm just kind of working and staying at home a lot. This year's been really tough, and I will maybe make a video about that. This video will go a little bit into that also, but anyway, I've like needed some sort of a creative outlet to tell my story or get my thoughts out in some sort of public way. I don't know, not public, but I just like need to get my thoughts out that aren't just to myself in my journal. So this is essentially my like video live journal, I guess, that I talk about different topics. And today I just kind of wanted to talk about why I'm not on social media anymore, and what that has been like. I don't really have much of a structure, and by don't have much, I mean zero. And I also had the idea that I would do this while I'm making food, just for fun, just for a thing to do. I don't know, who knows? We'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be the worst, but anyway, so today, and I'll post the link to the recipe in the description. This is not my recipe. Sometimes I tweak things, but like, I don't really know how to make recipes, so I just use other people's. Thank you, Pinterest. And another update, if you haven't seen me in a little while, I'm vegan now. And also I have a heart monitor right now. These are all things that maybe I'll talk about a little bit later, but yeah, I have a heart monitor for 48 hours. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, the recipe that I'm doing is called Crunchy Cashew Thai Quinoa Salad. It's got a bunch of stuff. I was hoping that I'd be able to angle the camera so you could see what I was doing, but it's not. I'll figure it out eventually, but not today. So here we are. Okay. So I've been off social media for a while. Basically, if you don't know what happened this year, the like major events were one of our dogs passed away. It was the same weekend of the 5-year anniversary of my brother's death, which was hard in and of itself. And I mean, our dog was old. He was like probably at least 16, and he was not doing well. But still like sucks. And then less than 2 weeks later, my grandma passed away. And she was the only grandparent I really had. I had one other grandma that was alive until I was in high school, but she had Alzheimer's since I was really young, so I don't really remember much of like who she actually was. I just remember the Alzheimer's version of her, and she didn't know who any of us were. So anyway, so yeah, my only grandparent, both my grandfathers passed before I was born. So my only grandparent passed away. That was March 1st. And oh my God, it's like almost June now. It feels like yesterday at times, and sometimes it feels like all of this happened 5 years ago. I probably should like also like be making the food, but okay. Oh, I need a peeler. Did I get a peeler? No. Where is my peeler? Now you're experiencing what I'm like in the kitchen. So yeah, like all of that happened, and like a weird thing about social media is there's an algorithm and it decides like who sees what you post based off of whatever the fuck they feel like. And so when I posted about Radar passing away, got a lot of messages, got a lot of comments, people are sending well wishes, blah, blah, blah. Really nice things. Like, thank you so much. That honestly meant so much. It was a really fucking hard time. It still is. And that really helped. And then when my grandma passed, I posted about it, and like some people saw it, but honestly, like I've run into a bunch of people and they have no idea. So either they're playing the game of, not the game, but like the thing where you're like, oh, I saw that, but like you haven't actually told me, so I'm gonna pretend like I don't know, which I do all the time, and I'll get into that in a minute. Or people like actually weren't seeing it because Facebook was like, well, it's not important enough for whatever that happens. And that felt really bad. And, you know, these are like, again, this is social media. Like, it's all like petty things, or not petty, but like, it's not real life. Like, this is the internet that's somewhat indicative of real life, but not entirely. And I was feeling really bad about it. And I was like, why aren't people, you know, like reaching out or whatever? And I was really analyzing like what was happening based off of social media. And in that moment, I was like, I'm not in a good spot right now. This is really, really hard. If you've ever gone through compounding grief, I'm super sorry. It is something else. I'll tell you that. And I was just like, this isn't real life. Like, I can't just have how I feel about grief and how others are interacting with me about it be based off of the internet. And so I was just, and there's some other things going on as well, like personal things with friends that were kind of tough, and social media was like amplifying my feelings about them and showing me things that I like didn't need to see, that were just like feeding off of my anxiety. One of my biggest anxieties is the feeling that, and kind of all this ties together, but like the feeling that everyone actually hates me and they're just like pretending to be nice, which, wow, is social media great for that if that is the case, and vice versa. But anyway, so I just realized that like I wasn't in a mental space to be able to deal with the fact that I knew that this was just social media that was like fueling all these feelings and nothing that was actually happening in my real life. I mean, obviously like grief is really happening, but my feelings about how people were reacting or whatever. So I just had to shut it off. So I still have my accounts, just in case, because like sometimes I want to reference something from like, I'm a part of like a bartenders group on Facebook, or I don't know, like there's an event that I'm going to and I can't find any information except on Facebook about it. And it's just much easier to get that information if you still have your account versus just like looking at it up. And let's be real, I really love The Real Housewives, and like I understand that I'm talking about preserving my mental health, but yeah, like I love The Real Housewives, and sometimes I just want to creep on their Instagrams. So I still have my accounts, but I don't scroll and I don't have the apps on my phone anymore. So if anyone has sent me like DMs on Instagram, I have not seen them. I mean, I haven't seen anything unless you send me a Facebook message. I still have that app on my phone because I don't have everyone's phone number and I didn't want to lose that access to people. Something like I've told some people, how am I supposed to cut these carrots? I'm going to dice them because or not dice them, but like, I'm not going to shred them. It's a pain in the ass. One thing when I've told people that I quit social media, they're like, oh my God, that sounds great. I really want to do that, but like I'm worried about disconnecting from people that I don't like see all the time, or, you know, like I'm in a band and blah, blah, blah. And like things like that. Like, what am I going to miss out on And I felt that too, and I was really nervous about it, and like in the moment it was just like, but that's not enough to keep me here and like keep me feeling really anxious about everything. So but that being said, like what I've realized after being off of social media is that the relationships that I do have and the things that I am doing are really valuable, and they mean a lot more. And when someone reaches out to me, it means a lot. And I know that those people are my people and my good friends. And I know that it's not because they saw something on Facebook or whatever, like they're commenting as if that's like how you communicate in the world, is like commenting on an Instagram post. I mean, like, not that those things don't mean anything, they do, but there's just a lot more gravity to having someone actually in real life like reach out. I made way too many carrots. This is too much. That's okay. I like carrots. So yeah, I found that like, yeah, I've probably missed out on some shows and events that people have invited me to that I didn't know about or whatever. But the people that have like actually reached out and texted me about events, even if I haven't been able to make them or like whatever, it's really meant a lot. Like, and I had or I have a friend who was, I don't know if he's on it anymore, but he wasn't on social media for a while. And so anytime that we had a show, I knew that I had to actually message him because I wanted him to be there, but he wasn't going to see a Facebook invite. And through that, I realized, like, I mean, in general, this should be how I'm inviting people to my shows, because it just means so much. And like, you know that someone isn't just like, oh, well, this person goes to shows sometimes, so I'll invite them. It's, I actually want this person there. What are you eating? What are you eating? My dog. So yeah, like I probably have missed out on things, but the things that I am doing have a lot more gravity and they mean a lot more, and I feel a lot more connected to the people that I want to be connected with. And you know, one of my best friends had a baby recently, and I was like, oh shoot, like how am I gonna see like all of her pictures if I'm not scrolling all the time or whatever. That's my quinoa. Yeah. And cool. Excuse me. And I can still, you know, like creep on her account and without like really scrolling through, like really intentionally go through and look at her pictures. But you know what else I can do is text her and be like, oh my God, how's the baby? Send me pictures. And she'll send me something that maybe she hasn't shown to everybody else. And that means a lot. And I have a friend who was like, I miss you on social media. And so now we just randomly text each other pictures of, like, I text her my dog and she texts me her kid. And it just, like, it means a lot. It feels really good. It feels way better than, like, here's this picture of my dog that everyone is seeing and they might like it, but it's very passive. Like, social media is a very passive way of connecting with others. And I, like, my intention with this year before even everything happened, was to be really intentional. And, you know, grief is really trying and challenging, and it just does not go away. But it also, in a lot of ways, is a gift. Like, it reminds you of what really is important, of what you really actually want in your life versus the things that just are there for whatever reason. And that itself, honestly, is such a gift. And for all of the hard times that I've had this year, I've really started to hone in on what I really want to surround me and what I want to be doing. And that's something that I'm definitely still figuring out. Like, I'm still in the process, but you know, it's only been a couple months since all of this happened. So figuring out what you want to do with your life takes time. And like in the past year, I've closed a business, my band broke up, I lost my grandma and a dog, I don't know, other things probably. I'm like going through this like health stuff and making sure that I'm okay because a lot of my family is not. Yeah, just like a lot of identity shifts. So I think that for 2 months, feeling so much more grounded in who I am, like I feel like I'm gonna get emotional about it. But yeah, like feeling so much more grounded in who I am is a real gift, and something that I don't think if I was just spending hours scrolling on Instagram or Facebook and feeling like the world is falling apart, which I mean it kind of is, but instead of focusing on like, oh my God, everything's so bad, I'm focused on, okay, well, what can I do? Or like, what's my next step? What's my place in the world? Like, what are the good things? Spending time with those that really like light me up, and that I feel pretty confident. And I say pretty because I still have anxiety and like that's still a thing, but pretty confident that I light them up. Like I don't feel like I'm hanging out with anybody right now that I hang out with them and I go home like, oh God, like they probably hate me. I mean, there's always going to be a twinge of that for me because that's just like who I am as a person. But yeah, so man, not being on social media is like pretty cool. I would highly suggest it. I get that like for a lot of people it doesn't feel. Someone tried to call me from Delaware. I actually had a telemarketer call me earlier this week about car insurance, which I already have and I'm happy with. And they called and I was like, yeah, actually I'm good. Could you take me off your call list? And the guy legit went, no, that's never gonna happen. Then I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, no, that's never gonna happen. And then just hung up. And I was like, solid. That's the creepiest thing that's ever happened. Well, not the creepiest, but a creepy thing that's happened. Anyway. Oh, I was saying that like, it feels for some of us like it's just not plausible to not be on social media because you have like businesses or bands or like whatever. And yeah, to an extent, like there's obviously like a huge place because a lot of people just aren't going to go off social media. So it is how they get their information, whatever. And like, I can't change anyone else's habits and I wouldn't want to. Like you change your own habits, however works for you. But I will say that I think a lot of that is just told to us, and if we peel back some of the layers, I don't know that it's actually true. I think that you can live a life off of social media successfully and still do the things that you want to do. And if, you know, there are different levels of going off of social media also. Like you could just like have your weekends off or only have it on the weekends or like whatever sounds good to you. But I think it's completely plausible, and I would just say that if you're concerned about it but you want to do it, one, like feel free to reach out. I'm happy to like chat about it with you or like strategize, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I just like deleted them and then started to fill my time with other things. Like I signed up for a year's worth of access to this online guitar lessons. And I've been practicing guitar almost every day, which is a goal for this year. Is I would like to write at least one song all by myself because I've never done that. And I don't really know how to play guitar, so that's part of it. But yeah, I'd like to be able to write my own music so that I don't feel like I'm dependent upon other people to do it for me. What else have I gotten into? I've really gotten into making my own food, and part of that was needing to have a budget because I'm also focused on getting out of debt this year, because we incurred some debt with the dog, and at the same time I had to get a new furnace. So it's just, boy, it's been a year. But things are looking up, and the things that aren't going so great, like I am feeling okay about the progress on them and like where I'm going with that. And I guess I'm just today I'm feeling like pretty good. about what I'm doing. I still watch a fair amount of Real Housewives, and I'm caught up on The Bachelorette, which, hey, if you're watching that, let's chat, because Cam needs to get out of there. Am I right? I'm right. Anyway, so that's a lot of what's going on in my life, is I've not been on social media. Obviously, YouTube is like a social media, so like doesn't totally count, but I watch things intentionally on YouTube. It's not like a scrolling thing of people that I know and then feeling really weird about various things that I don't need to feel weird about, because it's just like Instagram and Facebook are very anxiety inducing for me. And maybe that's not the case for you. Like, maybe they don't cause anxiety for you, and that's really cool. That's not the case for me. They cause a lot of anxiety for me. So I just need to get that out of my life, and I did, and I really, really like it. And yeah, I've like mainly just replaced those behaviors with other things. You know, in the mornings, like a while ago, I stopped leaving my phone in my bedroom. So I don't sleep with my phone in my room. I leave it downstairs while I'm sleeping. I got an actual alarm clock for when I need an alarm clock. So like I haven't scrolled before going to bed or like right when I wake up in a really long time anyway. That's just not a habit that I've had. I always have a book by my bed. And then when I wake up, like, yeah, I'll often go downstairs and like check if I have any texts or emails or whatever. But that's about it. And then I will walk my dog. I don't have a choice anymore. He forces me to. And then I try to do free writing in a journal. And then I've been doing and like really like this part of the routine when I have time for it, when I make time for it, doing yoga and then meditation. And that morning routine seems to work really well for me. This is in the dressing. Boop. Do you do that? I do that every time. Okay, this is gonna be long, and that's fine. Because like I said, this is just an outlet for me. Just get my thoughts out. It's an outlet for me. Anyway. I don't know. Do you like social media? Have you done a break before? I am curious, like, how other people interact with it, because I wouldn't even say that, like, I was super obsessed with it before, but I definitely would scroll for, like, hours. Like, you just find yourself doing that, and it doesn't, I don't know, it just, like, does not feel good. It doesn't feel productive. And I feel, not that I've, like, been hecka productive every single second of every day, like, I mean, I'm still grieving. Like, I still take a lot of time to just relax and, like, try to get through the day half the time. But getting through the day is way easier when I'm not also like, well, why are they talking to them and not to me? Like, such stupid, like, petty thoughts that you just, I don't know, maybe you don't have these, but I certainly have them when I'm on social media, and I don't like them, and I know that they're not, like, productive emotions, and they're not rooted in reality. So if they were rooted in reality, it would maybe be like a useful practice, but they're not. So get rid of it. And I did. How am I supposed to cut this? Shredded red cabbage. Red cabbage is actually purple. I don't know if you knew this, unless I got the wrong kind of cabbage or something. But like, it's purple. This isn't red. I mean, it's like, this is red. Red pepper. Do these look the same? No. Who named this? Americans are weird. Anyway, yeah, the podcast isn't really happening anymore because Kayla and I's work schedules have been, I mean, they've always been pretty opposite, but they're beyond opposite now, and neither of us have a whole lot of free time just in general. I'm not cutting this well, but hey, it's fine. But here, hold on. You want to see my dog? Hey, Domino. Are you so cute? He's scared. Are you so cute? Yeah, he is. Spoiler alert. Anyway, I guess that's all that I really wanted to talk about for this video. I quit social media. It feels really good. I don't have any intentions of going back. I don't know if ever, but we'll see. I think if I were to get into another band, if we felt the need to have a social media, I would probably ask somebody else to do it. Because again, like I said, like for some people, it doesn't like induce as much anxiety as it does for me. So that's cool. I think it's helpful in a lot of ways, and it like connects people that wouldn't have connected otherwise. There's a lot of good things about it. I don't like hate on social media. I just know for myself it doesn't support my mental health, and I need to focus on every aspect of my health right now. And that's partly why I went vegan. Again, I'll talk about that in another video where I oddly make food that you can't see. And how is this so hard to cut? I don't know why I'm not doing this well, but all right. I don't know if this was like entertaining for you. If not, that's fine. Like I said, this is like a video version of a live journal, so it's an outlet for me, and if it's cool for you, that's neato. I hope that it is. I hope that if you watch my guitar videos, they either make you giggle or you're like, wow, she got a little bit better. Now I feel like I could get a little bit better at whatever I'm interested in. I don't think I'm gonna put an onion in this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm almost done with this. Maybe I'll just turn this back on when I'm done with the salad. Okay, I made the salad. Yeah, it tastes good. And I'm gonna have some strawberries on the side. Dropped a lot of this on the ground because I don't know, like, how do you toss a salad like effectively without spilling on the ground? Someone don't answer that, actually. Please don't answer. I can go on Reddit, it's fine. Anyway, yeah, sounds good. Not on social media. This is gonna be my platform, like the platform that I use, not like whatever. Anyway, so here's me and my sweet little pup. Don't know. Are you just so cute? Here, I'll give him a little treat. I'm gonna give him some red pepper because it's red. Ready? Sit. This is rare. Usually he drops it on the ground, sniffs it, and then will eat it. Like he'll like put it in his mouth, drop it, sniff it, then like sometimes eat it, sometimes lick it a couple more times. All gone. Okay. See you next time. Stay tuned for more covers and more lengthy discussions of things. Bye.